what would happen if, at the most pivotal moment of your life, just as a door of destiny swung open, you chose instead to close your eyes. Tonight, I will tell you about a strange threshold, a place where a yes is left suspended in a dream, where an office worker becomes the boss of his own fears, and where there is a planet where people only truly live once they have fallen deep into sleep. Are you willing to let this story come before all your worries and let peace take the place of endless thoughts? Do not try to hold on to anything anymore, for sometimes the bravest thing you can do right now is to do nothing at all. Just lie down and let me take you home. Before we let go of every burden together to enter the journey back to stillness, please take a second to press the follow button and turn on notifications. This small act is like a commitment to yourself that you deserve to rest every night. Let your body find its most natural position on the surface of the bed, where all the pressure of gravity seems to be understood and shared. Do you feel the weight of your shoulders? Let them sink a little deeper, as if the mattress is a pair of warm arms wide open, waiting for you to return after a long and dusty journey. Pull up the blanket. Feel the softness of the fabric lightly touching your skin, a silent but absolute protection. Now, I want you to take a breath very slowly, very deeply through your nose. Imagine you are breathing in the very purity of the night. Then slowly breathe out through your mouth, very gently, as if blowing away a speck of fine dust on your shoulder. That's it, just like that. Each exhale is a time you loosen the tether to the noisy world out there. The sounds of car horns, unfinished plans, unanswered messages. Let them fade away, further and further, becoming as faint as shadows deep beneath the ocean. Here, in this room, there is only you, your breath, and this whispering voice protecting your sleep. Direct your attention to the top of your head. Do you feel a slight tension residing there? Imagine a stream of cool, soothing light, a jade green, slowly pouring over the crown of your head. Wherever that stream flows, relaxation spreads. It flows down to your forehead, smoothing away the wrinkles of anxiety. Relax your eyebrows, letting them drift a little apart. Then that stream weaves into your eyes, soothing the exhaustion of a long day spent looking at screens and blue light. The muscles around your eyes are softening, your eyelids growing heavy, a pleasant weight as if covered by a layer of midnight velvet. You no longer need to observe anything. The world of images has temporarily closed to make room for the world of deep inner sensations. The stream of peace continues to flow down to your cheeks, softening your mouth. Relax your lower jaw so your teeth are no longer clenched together, letting your tongue rest comfortably in your mouth. This feeling of ease begins to spread down to your neck, to your shoulders, where you have carried too many responsibilities of a long day. Let your shoulders drop quite naturally. Imagine you are shedding a heavy coat after walking through the snow into a house with a flickering fire. The warmth gradually spreads down both arms, through the elbows, to the wrists, and to the very tips of your fingers. Do you feel a gentle tingling in your fingertips? It is a sign of life flowing freely when no longer hindered by tension. Your hands are now very light, yet very heavy in their rest. They no longer have to hold, no longer have to manipulate. They are simply present. Now, take your breath deeper into your chest and your abdomen. Feel the steady, rhythmic rise and fall, like sea waves washing onto the shore at midnight. Inhale, the chest expands. Exhale, the body sinks, settling deeper into the mattress. Relaxation flows through the spine, each vertebra loosening, releasing all pressure. It spreads down to the hips, down to the legs that have taken you everywhere today. Now, those legs deserve absolute rest. Feel the relaxation running down the thighs, to the knees, through the calves, and stopping at the feet and the toes. Your entire body right now is like a strip of soft silk stretched across the bed. You no longer feel a clear boundary between your body and the space around you. You are melting into the stillness of the night, like a drop of ink dissolving into a glass of clear water. In this stillness, a story of the return of peace is beginning to be written. You know, sometimes we keep chasing perfect endings in the outside world, forgetting that the most important ending is simply letting go to find ourselves again in sleep. Like the man with insomnia in the upcoming story, he waited for a pill to find normalcy, but in truth, that normalcy always resided in the very breath he had forgotten. Or the office worker who accidentally spoke the truth in a dream that we are all too tired to keep performing. Tonight, you don't need to be an elite employee, a faithful lover, or a dutiful child. Tonight, you are just a soul in need of rest, a child of the universe being lulled by Mother Nature through the silence of the stars. Do you hear the sound of the night? It is not a total silence, but a wordless music created from the movement of air, from the slow beating of your heart. Let that music take you deeper, further into this safe landing zone. Nothing can bother you here. Every distant sound becomes a word of comfort. The wind whistling through the door is a reminder that you are in a warm room. The ticking of the clock is the rhythm of time passing compassionately, allowing you to leave the past behind. You are sinking in the gentlest way. The weight of your body is so pleasant now, for it is a sign that you have completely trusted this space, this moment. Every worry, like dark clouds after a storm, is gradually fading to reveal a mind sky of deep blue and full of stars. You don't need to try to understand what I say. Just let these words be like small ripples touching your soul. Let this story permeate you naturally. Peace is not a destination, but a state you are experiencing right now. You are returning to stillness, returning to your own spiritual home. Take one more deep breath, and as you exhale, imagine you are letting go of the last fragment of wakefulness. You are ready to step into a new space where dreams begin to weave wonders. Remember, tomorrow morning, when the first sunlight touches the window, you will feel reborn, full of energy and peace. But that is a story for tomorrow. For now, there is only tonight. Only this rest is the sole reality. Before we step further into the space of the mysterious night forest, give yourself a silent thank you for allowing yourself to stop. Don't forget, if you find this peace precious, come back tomorrow morning to share your feelings and spread this healing. But for now, close your eyes tight one more time and then slowly loosen them. Let the gentle darkness take over completely. we are beginning the journey back to the deepest sleep of our lives. When your body is truly heavy and sunk deep into the mattress, let me take the hand of your mind, guiding you out of this room to enter a space where time seems to have stopped thousands of years ago. You are standing at the edge of an ancient forest where giant trees reach up to touch the most distant stars. The space here is not dark. It is shrouded in an ethereal blue light, a soft glow as if filtered through thin layers of silk from the moon. Walk very slowly. Beneath your feet is not hard ground, but a layer of lush green moss, thicker and softer than any carpet you have ever known. Each of your footsteps makes no sound, as if you are gliding on clouds. The air here carries the scent of sandalwood blended with damp mist, a fragrance so pure that just by breathing it in, you feel every sorrow in your chest being washed clean. In the distance, the gurgling of a small stream rings out steadily. It is not the sound of rushing water, but a symphony of water droplets hitting pebbles, creating sounds at $30 hertzes, the frequency of absolute relaxation. Do you see, on the branches? Small birds are tucking their heads into their wings, their breathing steady and rhythmic, creating an incredibly peaceful resonance. Even the leaves lie still. They no longer stir with the wind, but are simply enjoying the silence of the black night. In the center of this forest, a large rattan chair is placed next to a small, faded fire with only faint red embers, glowing, radiating a gentle warmth. This is the stopping point for weary travelers, where stories of the world outside begin to fade. You find yourself sitting there, feeling the warmth from the embers soothing your feet. In this space, there are no phones, no urgent notifications, and no pressure of time. There is only you and the embrace of nature. Here, the boundary between the real and the imaginary begins to intertwine. You realize that this forest is the beautiful gray zone. We have always searched for the place where unfinished stories begin to find their way out. Perhaps the man with insomnia also walked this mossy path before deciding to take that fateful pill. Or the office worker also dreamed of being a king amidst this great forest before waking up with a start in the meeting room. You are very close to them, very close to your truest essence. Let the eyes of your soul close to the rhythm of the forest's breath. Just inhale, feel the scent of incense, and exhale, merging into the blue moonlight. Peace has truly returned, and the story you are about to hear will be but the final small ripples carrying you deep into a profound sleep. In the absolute stillness of that forest, as the warmth from the fading embers gently touches the soles of your feet, your mind begins to open the doors of different lives, where sleep is not just rest, but a destiny. Let me tell you about Julian, a man who spent half his life counting the ticking rhythms of the clock in vain. Julian suffered from chronic insomnia, an ailment that made him feel like a lingering ghost in the world of the living. Tonight, in his quiet apartment, in the heart of the city, Julian stares at a deep blue pill in the palm of his hand, the strongest sleeping pill he has ever possessed. He yearns to sleep like a normal person, to vanish into the void without being besieged by thoughts of the future or regrets of the past. With a long breath, Julian takes the pill, feeling a numbness begin to spread from his throat, weaving into every vein. His eyelids begin to grow heavy, a strange sense of happiness as the darkness finally prepares to draw the curtain. But just as the boundary between waking and dreaming becomes as thin as a strand of hair, his phone suddenly lights up. It is Clara, his former love, the one he once swore to protect for a lifetime but lost amidst the chaos of life. Her message appears brief yet vibrating through a world of memories. I was wrong, Julian. Can we get back together? Julian picks up the phone, his finger trembling as it hovers over the accept key. He wants to tell her that he is still waiting, that his heart has never closed. But the weight of the medicine now falls like a vast ocean. His eyes shut tight, his arm hangs limp beside the bed, the phone slipping from his grasp, while the answer remains locked in his thoughts. Julian sinks into the deepest sleep of his life, not by the choice of his heart, but by the compulsion of sleep. In that dream, he does not see Clara. He only sees himself standing in the middle of a desolate field where all words become whispers of wind. He realizes that sometimes sleep comes to protect us from painful choices, to remind us that there are things which once missed in the gray zone of the black night leave only one's own peace as the sole thing remaining. The river of memory carries you to another space, a stifling office under the sallow neon lights at the end of the day. There is Arthur, an office worker who has been working for 18 consecutive hours. Arthur is sitting in an important meeting where his boss, Mr. Maxwell, is droning on incessantly about a project that could change their entire careers. Maxwell's voice is resonant and steady, like the sound of an old machine, and Arthur, despite his struggle to stay upright, cannot stop his head from nodding down. For a moment, Arthur is no longer in the meeting room. He dreams he is sitting in Maxwell's seat, powerful and confident, but instead of talking about profits or sales, the Arthur in the dream begins to command the entire staff. Take off your ties, walk barefoot on the grass, go home and hug your loved ones, for the greatest project of a human life is peace within the soul. He finds himself loudly criticizing Maxwell's own greed, demanding that everyone stop and listen to their own heartbeats. The dream is so vivid that when Arthur wakes up with a start at the sound of a fountain pen hitting the floor, he sees the entire meeting room staring at him in dead silence. Maxwell looks at him with raised eyebrows full of astonishment. Arthur realizes with horror that he didn't just dream, but had mumbled all those contrary directives out loud. He had told his boss to go to sleep, to stop being a slave to numbers. A long silence envelops the room, but then a miracle happens. Maxwell does not get angry. He sighs softly, loosens his tight tie, and tells everyone to go home. Arthur's sleep arrived before the project plan, and in the slip of his subconscious, he liberated himself and everyone around him from the burden of expectation. He walks out of the building, breathing in the night air, realizing that our truest voice often only rises when we are no longer awake enough to hide it. And then your vision expands to a distant planet named Etheria, where the concept of life is entirely different from Earth. On Etheria, people spend the entire day in absolute silence. They work, eat, and walk beside each other like silent ghosts. Daytime for them is merely a preparation, a faint preamble. All drama, all love, all conflict, and even burning kisses only truly begin when the sun sets and the entire planet closes its eyes together. They communicate through a shared neural network in dreams, where their souls blend into one another without the need for language. There, a carpenter named Leo can dance with a queen in a palace made of cloud and smoke. A pair of lovers separated by daytime prejudice can build an eternal home together in the realm of imagination. But there is an unwritten law on Etheria. When sleep comes before the story, that is when one must learn to accept the truth. Leo realizes that, no matter how brilliant the dream, the most painful truth is that they are avoiding living truthfully while awake. They save all their desires for freedom and sincere connection for the gray zone of dreams, only to wake up and become silent strangers again. The message from planet Etheria seeps into your mind like a gentle warning. Do not let words of love wait until your eyes are closed. The most beautiful story is not the longest one in a dream, but the story told completely while we are still awake enough to embrace it, to feel the warmth of the other in the flesh. All three lives, Julian, Arthur, and Leo, are like fine silk threads weaving a tapestry of letting go in your mind right now. They remind you that sleep is a gift, but also a mirror reflecting what we still owe ourselves. Now, as those stories gradually subside, you find yourself returning to your own night forest. Those characters slowly dissolve into the mist, leaving you with a silence deeper than ever before. You feel that you no longer need to answer any messages, no longer need to perform any projects, and no longer need to wait for any parallel world to be yourself. Peace has truly returned, enveloping you like a soft cocoon. Let the images of Julian, Arthur, and Leo drift away like late season leaves falling onto a still lake. Only you remain, your breath, and a deep sleep waiting with open arms. Now, as the silhouettes of Julian, Arthur, and Leo begin to fade like watercolor streaks bleeding into the night, you feel your mind is no longer a crowded place of thoughts. Instead of the image of a falling leaf, imagine your entire presence right now is turning into a thin plume of agarwood smoke, rising from an ancient stone altar in the heart of the great forest. This smoke has no fixed shape. It is weightless, free, and begins to float upward, drifting through the leaves, merging into the cool air of the moonlit night. You no longer feel the weight of bone and marrow, no longer feel the constraints of reality. You are rising, yet carrying a strange sense of stability, because you are embraced by the entire space. Julian's worries about an unsent message are now just a dim, distant spark far below the ground. The pressures of power or Arthur's criticisms dissolve into the silence of the clouds. You realize that, at this altitude of letting go, all the sounds of the world are but a gentle rustle, like the sound of waves crashing very far away from a nameless ocean. The smoke is you, and you are also the Black Night. You weave through each leaf, touching the petals of flowers closing for sleep, and feel the breath of the old forest harmonizing with your own. With every passing second, the boundary between I and the universe becomes more fragile. You are no longer trying to understand or to hear. You are simply being. Imagine yourself dissolving into a soft, fluffy cloud where warmth and silence meet. There is no beginning and there is no end. Only a state of suspension, drifting, where all concepts of time become meaningless. Your eyelids are now heavy not just from exhaustion, but from an overwhelming peace. A heaviness like sinking into a warm bath, where every sense is soothed and pampered. My voice right now is no longer clear words, but has transformed into a very low frequency vibration, cradling your soul like the rocking of Mother Nature's nursery. You are drifting toward the most peaceful dark region of consciousness, where there are no neon lights, no ringing phones, only the absolute compassion of the darkness. Let yourself thin out, dissolve into the mist, blend into the crevices of the stones. Reality has been left very far behind. Only pure rest remains. You are entering a world where silence is the only language, and sleep is the most precious gift you give to yourself after a long journey. Now, everything has truly stopped. The agarwood smoke that is you has completely vanished into the void, leaving no trace of concern. The forest, the stream, and even the stories of Julian, Arthur, or the land of Etheria have retreated to some distant realm, fading like a memory from a past life. The space around you now has no form, no color, only a vast, empty sky, serene and absolutely compassionate. You are suspended among the clouds of the unknown. No need to think, no need to feel, only breath. Inhale, so gently. Exhale, so softly. My whisper is now also dissolving, becoming a part of the night. You no longer need to listen. The words are only blurred rhythms, slowing down, thinning out. Peace, relax, sink down. You are drifting into an ocean of silence, where ethereal black waves caress your soul. Everything is weightless. Everything is safe. The darkness is no longer darkness, but a warm embrace holding you, protecting you from all the vibrations of the world outside. Sleep now, deeper still, so deep. In this silence, you find yourself. No name, no role, just a breath unified with the universe. Let the night take you. Let this stillness heal you. Peace, deep sleep, dream. Good night, fellow soul traveler. When the morning sun returns, you will find yourself refreshed and full of life. But for now, just rest. And if you find peace in this flow, do not forget to come back tomorrow morning to press the follow button. Share this gentleness with other souls and leave a greeting so we can land in the night together again tomorrow. As for now, silence, sleep, sleep.